right, everybody, welcome back to Baxter County Roundtable. We have a full night ahead. Before we get into the particulars, I want to thank a few sponsors. Number one being Baxter County Roundtable podcast is sponsored by Mountain Home Heat and Air. They were voted best in Twin Lakes 2 years in a row in 24 and 25. They're the largest Goodman dealer in the Twin Lakes area. Mountain Home Heat and Air together with Goodman are two names you can trust. Goodman systems are made in America by Americans. They also specialize in Daikin mini-split systems. From new installations to duct cleaning and everything in between, Mountain Home Heat and Air are the people to call for all your HVAC needs. They offer high-quality systems and workmanship. They offer affordable prices, and financing is available. So give Kirk Lawrence and the folks at Mountain Home Heat and Air a call at 870-425-HVAC, and that is 870-425-4822.
And hey, everybody, I'm Shane Little, fill-in host for the podcast here this evening, and we want to also let you know.
Are you the number one?
I am the number one fill-in host in this county, documented to be true. And we also want to let you know that the podcast is brought to you by James Boyette, State Farm. This is the bad news, folks. We're all going to die someday. Ooh. And we're just an accident away from financial problems. Okay, you need insurance. You need to call James Boyette at his office, or you can visit it at 1330 Highway 62 East here in Mountain Home. The number that you need to call is 870-425-4540. You don't need insurance until you need it, so you better make sure you got it. They're super. They can do auto, homeowners, condo, renters, personal articles, business, life, health, and even pet insurance. So give James Boyette a call. That number again is 870-425-4540.
Well, thank you, Shane. And my name is Joe Bryant. And like Shane told us, he's the guest host this evening every other week. And it has been verified that he is number one. Now,
by the Sullivan Group.
Now, we have another guest host, Chris Chamberlain, who he's probably running a close second, I guess. But
I don't know.
But I don't know if he would dispute your claim or not.
Well, all I know, but he did tell me last week that we, and I want to say this to the people of Baxter County. I'm a little bit disappointed because we had a security incident in the bunker last week.
That's right.
And because I made the mistake the last time I was here of telling everybody where the hidden bunker was down in Bull Shoals Caverns. And we had a little security incident. It wasn't too serious, but we've had to move the bunker this week. It's in a non-disclosed location. I'll tell you where it was again when we move it again. All right? So, but just don't. When we tell you where our hidden bunker is, don't come. Don't show up.
Don't tell anybody.
No, well.
And also, we can't forget that Baxter County Republican Committee is a substantial donor as well.
That's right.
They supported us to get this thing off the ground in the beginning, especially, and they still support us. And so, that being said, I'll continue with the introductions. We have
very special guest.
Yes, we have Jacob Maple with Maple Minis, and we also have his son Lucas. So I want to extend a welcome to both of you, and let's get on with the show. Who are you, Jacob? Jacob Maple?
We are just some local people here, local family in town. My wife Rebecca, myself, our son Lucas, our daughter Maddie. We currently just opened up a concession trailer, a mini donut and lemonade trailer, and we are excited about it. It's a good opportunity for us to be, involved in the community, do different events, and everybody in town, the citizens of the community and the other businesses, and have shown a lot of interest and helped us, and booked us for events and things, and we're grateful for that, and we're just happy to be able to be involved in the community in that way.
So this is a brand new endeavor for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you? What path led you to this?
Well, we've wanted to do it for a while now, and just making it happen is the hard part. But finally, we made it happen. we were blessed to have the opportunity to start the business, and it's taken off really well. It's been a pretty smooth start. Like I said, a lot of support from the community, from the people in the community and the other businesses in the community, and it's just been really great. And we're looking forward to doing as much as we can to help to give back to the community and provide a service. And it's something fun. It's something a little different. Something that people, most people seem to enjoy.
Well, tell us a little bit about the product offerings you have.
Well, we have miniature donuts, and they come in a couple different sizes. You get a pail stacked full with them, and different toppings. You can have strawberry shortcake, cookies and cream, peanut butter cup, caramel coconut, cinnamon sugar, a good classic staple, and different kinds. We do a couple different flavors that we don't normally have, just seasonal type. Right now we have a Fruity Pebbles thing going. The kids seem to like that.
Well, now I'm going to guess that Lucas probably doesn't really like donuts and lemonade. Is that right, Lucas?
Well,
No.
Oh, you do like that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
yeah, he's back there. I was surprised that he hasn't eaten more of them.
What's your favorite? All of them. I knew it.
Reese's.
What is it?
Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh, good.
You could make that into a donut.
Yeah, well, we make the fresh donuts, and they're
And
kind of
then-
have a funnel cakey consistency.
Ah, gotcha.
And then we drizzle the peanut butter on the top in the squirt bottle. And then we get the chocolate and then drizzle it on. And then we get the Reese's that are crushed up, and then we add them,
Sounds like you're going to be a
And-
full-time employee there.
and it's really fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And you
Good.
say
Well,
you have lemonade too, right?
Yes, we do. We have lemonades. We use a whole lemon, fresh lemon, and several different, probably 7 or 8 different flavorings you can add to it. They're
There-
pretty good size.
There's blue raspberry, blue cotton candy, and a few others. Raspberry, watermelon, peach.
All different
I
kinds.
forgot a few.
well, what's your favorite? Anything blue?
I like blue raspberry.
Good deal. So what? How does this operation work? Is this a walk-up or is this a drive-through?
Yeah,
or-
we're parked at different locations throughout town. We have a Facebook page. We try and post on there where we're going to be.
What's the
we
name of
don't-
your Facebook page?
Maple Minis.
Maple Maze.
Maple Minis.
Maple Maze. Spell that.
Maple Minis.
Oh, Maple
MAPLEMINIS. Yep.
My hearing is
Oh no, I know how
Okay.
it is. Me too, and I'm not even where you're at yet.
okay. Oh, hey. All right, go ahead.
And-
Any other contact info?
Mostly the Facebook page mainly. We do. The wife does do other types of social media, but mostly that's it, and word of mouth. And we've had a pretty good reception so far. Like I say, we try and post where we're going to be, throughout the week, so people can kind of see us on there and determine, where we're at and if they can make it by, or stop through business. If you see us on the side of the road somewhere or on the parking lot or something like that, swing through, get you some mini donuts and a lemonade or what have you. And going to be doing a lot of events. Had a lot of people reach out to do events, and we're going to try and do possibly catering of some kind, as far as, birthday parties or events that people may want to have our services at.
When's the next place you're going to be? Have you got anything queued up?
Well, we are going to be at the high school. Actually, we're doing an event there for the seniors. They do the parking lot painting. They paint their parking lot spaces in the senior parking lot. So we were asked by the parent-teacher organization to come to there to show up to that event, and we're going to be doing that. That's coming up, I believe, this Saturday. I can't quite remember. And then the farmers markets will be on and off at the farmers market and Mountain Home behind the courthouse. We're also going to be at the Cotter Farmers Market occasionally, and just different places. And if you could just check the Facebook page, or if it rolls across your feed, you can see where we'll be at. And we're trying to. It's hard to get a set schedule being mobile and where you're going to be at, but yeah, we're planning to be all over as many places as we can to try and service as many people as we can.
But it sounds like you've gotten a lot of cooperation and help from some of the other business owners in town.
Yes,
That's
we
very
have.
as a business owner myself, it's very encouraging to hear.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
definitely
all right.
for
Well,
sure.
that sounds like fun. Lucas, is there anything else you'd like to add? Other than give me more donuts? Does your dad actually let you have a donut now and
Yeah.
again? Well, that's kind of fun. How old are you?
8.
8? So does that put you in about second or third grade?
Yeah, I'm going into 3rd grade.
Third grade. Well, you're going to need your strength, so just keep chowing down those donuts, but just be careful. Be
Yeah.
careful. Too much of a good thing,
Yeah, moderation in all
Moderation,
things.
You don't look like he's got too much of a problem with it.
No,
Now, you
Well,
can
I
probably
think you'll
benefit
be
from a
fine.
few dozen.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice from an old guy. Stay away from the blue stuff. Don't eat so much of it, just little bits at a time. It's just because it's a good color.
Yeah,
doesn't mean-
yeah. Oh, they
But
got
no,
blue
I'm
everything.
sure it's all delicious. All right, Jacob.
We're really excited to promote you on here and public, give them some business.
Can you describe how they'll see you out there? What's the characteristics of your?
The trailer
stand out.
is white. We're still working on getting some signage in. We're going to plan on having flags coming off the trailer that say mini donuts and lemonade, so you'll be able to spot us a little easier once we have those in. And working on getting our logo put on the front and back of it. And yeah, that's how you'll eventually pretty soon be able to see us.
What's the next big event?
We are going to be at Real Life Church on August 2nd, I believe it is. Real Life Church for the services there and for a youth conference that they're having the day prior, that Saturday. So, yeah, come out to Real Life Church that day and
Awesome.
see us if you're in the neighborhood.
Go get a donut, everybody.
Yes.
All right, Lucas. Well, do you have anything else? Or Jacob or Lucas, do you have anything else you want to add? Silence.
Donuts are good.
On the spot,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Lucas, thanks for coming, and we'll have you back again sometime. How's that sound?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to switch out switch gears because we have something way more boring to talk about
Yeah.
than donuts.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for having
Thank
us so
y'all.
much.
Yeah, we appreciate
Appreciate you being
coming
here.
on in.
Appreciate you guys.
So, let's get Joe Jones in here.
So the next topic that we're going to be covering while our
Thanks.
next guest comes in, we're going to be talking a little bit about property taxes here
send
in,
Joe in
in the
if you would,
state,
please.
in Arkansas, Baxter County specifically. One of my research agents went out and did a lot of research today. Property, everybody's feeling this, right? The property taxes are going up. My goodness, what's going on? What's happening? How does this work? If some of you viewers might recall, we actually had the tax assessor in here
Put
about
that
a month or two ago,
on your mouth.
and we learned a lot about the way the process works. But this would be just a little bit of a refresher and a reminder of how some of how the assessment process works, why the property taxes are going up like they have been, and kind of where Baxter County falls in the statewide scope of things.
Yeah, this issue really blew up I would say about the last week. I heard people talking about it more and more as the week went on. And then all of a sudden, a couple of them showed up in my mailbox.
Yeah, it's because everybody got their mail on Saturday. That's when they started getting the forms.
I was actually hearing before that, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to everybody what what's in these forms?
Well, Joe would probably be the better one to do it because
Okay,
I
what-
haven't. If I've gotten one in the mail, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, what have you
Well,
seen? What have you
I'll
seen?
tell you, I'm a landlord. I got 10 properties.
Joe Jones, by the way. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. But I have 10 properties, and every year, it seems like somehow or another, they gouge you. And that's, I got forms, just like I said Saturday, they mailed these off. I've got forms. I'm just going to do one property just to show you out of the 10. Okay, this is a property in Southern Meadows. In 2025, they appraised my property at $134,000. Okay. I got the letter, the dreadful letter on Saturday. In 2026, they appraised it at $194,395. They never seen the inside of my house. They don't have a clue. They just drive by and they say, I think your house is worth that. Well, I don't think it's a very fair deal. I mean, I could go out and say that your car's worth $20,000 and you know your car's only worth $3,000. If anybody listening to me and you're in this office and you want to buy my house for $194,395, get with me. I'll be glad to sell it to you for that.
Numbers are sometimes hard to follow, especially if people are just listening to the podcast. Tell us the first number again, what it was appraised at in 2025.
Well, I can even do better than that. How about if I go back to 2019? I'll go back to 2019. It appraised at $100,050. 2022, it appraised out at $134,000. Now, you did give me some paper, and they said they appraise it every 4 years. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. Well, this is the year, 4 years later. 2025, they appraised it at $134,000, just like they did in 2022. 2026, they appraised it at $194,395, and it raised my taxes $114.33. You might not think that's a lot, but when you own a lot of property, who do you think that falls back on? If you're renting these places out, the landlords, they get the pressure. They're the ones that, oh, you're raising the rent up and you're doing this and you're doing that. But the fact is the renters, just like a grocery store, they're going to push the cost onto their renters. The landlords push it off on their renters. And yet the landlords are the ones that get the bad rap when it's not us that are doing it. It's the actual, government. I'll just call it like it is.
Well, and you're right. $100 doesn't sound like a whole lot, but if you're on a fixed income, it could make a big difference.
Well, you say
everything
that.
else is going up.
Yeah, you say that, but you are truly 100% right. Because I can tell you, I travel a lot. You can go to Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, all that area. Your gas is 25 cents cheaper per gallon. Your food is way cheaper. I mean, groceries are way cheaper. People go to West Plains to shop because it's so cheaper over here. You would think Mountain Home would want to keep them people here. It all ties into the same thing. It's just basically robbery. I know what it is. We've got a lot of retirees here, and there's a lot of money here. And unfortunately, some people don't have a lot of money, and they're getting hit with it. There's a lot of retirees that, my mother she's worked her whole life. And I bet you she draws under $1,000 a month for Social Security. Now, how do you live on that? And if you're paying rent, how do you survive on that? If it wasn't for my father, she wouldn't be able to pull that off. He's 100% disabled from the he's a vet. So it's just and another you say, okay, well, it's a house, it's went up in value. Maybe they're right, maybe it has, but okay, I got one even better than that. I own some mobile homes that I rent out. Tell me a bank that'll ever tell you your mobile home went up in value. I don't think you'll find a bank anywhere in the state of Arkansas, or matter of fact, anywhere within 2 states that says your mobile home is worth more now than it was 4 years ago. Well, I got proof here that they did it to me. They raised it up. They raised 3 of them up. It's how are they getting their estimates? And here's something that's kind of funny. I own a home in Gassville. Okay, I bought it I think 3 years ago. I put a metal roof on it, a red metal roof. I get a letter in the mail. They raised my property taxes $175 for putting a metal roof on there. I should have went back to shingles. I mean, how are they getting this? It's almost like they pick out people that have, and I know I'm not the only one that's got rental properties that because I've got a lot of friends that own rental, and they're dealing with the same thing. I see it on sites that I administer for, that I'm an administrator on quite a few sites, so I see all the complaints around. I see it. I mean, I could actually pull them up and show you, but it wouldn't do any good, you know. But it's just something's got to give. You cannot just keep picking on the same people over and over, and I feel like that's what they're doing.
Well, and they're going to end up with more tax revenue, I presume, is what their argument will be for doing this. But and maybe they do need some increases, but on the other hand, they're going to spend that money on things that we don't want.
Well, did we ask for a new police station here? I mean, literally, in the midst of the darkness, we have a new police station in the square now. What was wrong with the old one? Now, what do you think that cost us as taxpayers to move that police station over in this new build, brand new, well, not brand new, but used building, but still bigger? And I have nothing against the men in blue. I totally support them 100%. I am not anti-blue. All I'm saying is you can drive by our schools, every one of our schools. Every one of our schools has a lighted billboard in their front thing. Half the time they don't work. You can drive to West Road and you can go to Hackler Intermediate School. It looks like a spaceship 24/7. After it gets dark, there's 20 lights that are on. Big UFO lights. Do we necessarily need, and I know you think, oh, it's such a small thing. Don't complain about that. But I'll tell you what, take that light bill off from running them lights off of my taxes at the end of the year. I probably wouldn't be sitting here complaining in front of everybody. It's
Well, that just makes me go, there is waste. There's plenty of waste, and they never address that.
no.
It never gets addressed.
Well.
It's throw more money at the problem, and
Yeah, he'd give me this paper earlier, and this I've read this, and it's funny to me because I didn't know this until he handed me this paper earlier.
I had some earlier today. I had some of my research sleuths go through the data, and I was able to compile this little report, and it's pretty comprehensive. I learned some things that surprised me, but go ahead.
Well, this is one that surprised me. In August of 2022, and I know everybody can remember this, they had the 40 million high school renovation mileage failed. That's because they wanted a new high school. Well, it failed. We all remember that. I voted against it. February of 2023, they did it again. They failed. Now, here's where it's funny. It says the reappraisal round saw roughly 22,000 of the county's 44,000 parcels increase in value, with the same owner's taxes doubling. Now, is that not funny? Because they couldn't get the taxes to pass the second time, what did they do? That's right here in bold print. They doubled 22,000 people's property taxes. But we still don't have a new high school. So I don't know. I'm just a landlord that's getting furious over every time I turn around. They're coming at me with something, and I pay a lot in taxes. And I know there's a lot more people saying, well, California, and they pay, in Chicago, they pay. But that's not it. I lived here since 1982. If I can't complain at my town that I feel is robbing people, then I shouldn't be sitting here. But I feel like everybody that's been here a long time feels like enough is enough. Stop.
And do you have any idea, Shane, how they come to these numbers?
Yeah, So here's basically how it works. As we mentioned before, there's a 4-year reappraisal cycle, and part of the reason, according to the research, that things seem to have gone up so much, whether this is true or not, this is just what the data says. Again, 4-year cycle. The state standardized the appraisal cycle through an act years ago. So it's every 4 years. The last one that was done before this last 25-26 cycle was in 2020. Well, what's happened since then? We had all the pandemic era inflation and everything. So and the property values have skyrocketed. From all of the ancillary effects of that, right? So everybody's getting hit with this big, huge increase all at once, and that's part of it. Now, how the value is set, appraisers there's appraisers that work for the county. They examine the property characteristics and comparable sales. During reappraisal, every property is visited by the assessor or a representative, and data on structures, improvements, pools, fences, driveways, is gathered. Renovations also trigger an appraisal, notification, and appeal timeline. This is another important thing. In July, the assessors send out the notification, and the owners, what you have within 10 business days of July 1st, if value increased, owners can meet with the assessor first, then request a hearing with the Board of Equalization through the county clerk's office by August 1st. So there is an appeal process.
I tried it. I tried it last year with the $175 roof.
So they're basing the values of real estate on houses that are being sold, which is typically a remodeled house
That's right. Yeah. So
instead of the average person's house.
yeah. So it's the same thing with if you go out and buy a property, there's going to be comps. The bank is going to go through an appraisal process, and they're going to look at similar houses that they've recently sold.
Well,
Right.
all I could say is good luck. I'm going to try again on appealing this. I tried last year. They said, oh, we'll call you back. I tried 3 different times. I've never got anybody to call me back. It's like the song, I fought the law and the law won. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't even get a chance to fight them, so they just automatically won. And it's probably going to be the same way on this. I'll probably just end up choking it down, pushing it off on my tenants, and then me getting in trouble from them saying I'm a stingy landlord and greedy and everything else. But I'll give you a breakdown of this. On the home I spoke of over by the junior high. Okay, they got it now with this new one that I'm going to lose 2 months of rent. Okay, now I'm down to 10 months. If you take the insurance, now I'm down to 9. If you take all the maintenance and the repairs, now I'm down to 8. Okay? I got a bank note on that home. Now I'm down to 7. Okay? I don't want to tell you what it rents out for, but I can tell you at the end of the song and dance, there's not much music left to dance to because they got their hands and they're grabbing all they can, and they don't stop. That's the question. So anybody that's renting, please don't get mad at us landlords. If you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at the representatives around here for letting this happen to us and you all. We don't want to charge you what and I can guarantee you ask any of my renters, I am the fairest renter in Mountain Home. I haven't raised anybody's rent in like 3 years. And the last one I did, I raised it $20-something because and it was 2022 when they had the last tax thing. You said it was 2020, but you were right because you told me and it was 2022, and it was because I looked on my tax
Yeah,
forms.
if I said 2020, I meant 2022.
Yeah, it's 2022.
Yeah, and the reason I was asking the numbers earlier is because they and this is important for people to take note of, that there's Amendment 79 here in Arkansas. Annual increases, there's like a 5% cap year over year for residential and homestead increases. And then there's a 10% cap on commercial, unless it's a newly discovered property. So it's also worth it. Everybody, if it's your primary residence, you can claim a homestead credit of $600. So that's like $600 straight off your property taxes right there. But that only applies to your primary residence. Also, for those of you who are senior citizens or disabled per SSA, your assessment is frozen. So if you're over 65 or disabled, your property value, as long as it's your primary residence, is frozen from then on.
That's
Well,
exactly
they
right.
still
Or should be.
They still reevaluate it. They just don't charge you for it.
Yes.
So when they're hoping you kick the bucket. So the next person
That's with the exception of new construction. Like if you renovate, build a new outbuilding, something like that, then
They still charge you personal property, though.
oh yes.
But
Yeah.
like in my case, I'm over 65, so they're not raising my tax, but they're raising the value of my residence. So when I'm gone, the next person has to then assume that
Absolutely.
that increased value.
Absolutely. They just pass it down. That's just basically what they do.
So that's a little bit
So-
a little underhanded. if you
I
ask me.
just, what doesn't make no sense is the house, I said they raised up 100 and whatever it was. How do you appraise something at that? Like I said, if anybody's listening that sets these rules, please come and buy my home for that amount that you think it's worth, because I'll sell it to you for that. You've never been inside my house. You don't know. You don't know if it could be bare. I could not have a bathroom. How do they know? By driving by, because it's got a nice brick front and it's got a nice cut lawn and a flagpole. That's how you come up with your $194,000 that you think it's worth. That there's just a flaw in that, and I think that should be addressed.
I think it's worth mentioning that there was a House Joint Resolution 1012 this past year. It was a proposed constitutional amendment that would have frozen real property assessments at their December 31, 2026 values, except when sold. Substantially improved or changes. Now, this didn't make it through. This was proposed, but it did not make it onto the ballot because the legislature can only propose 3 amendments to put on the ballot, and they did. That's the one that did not make it through. So this was a real proposal that was made in this last legislative session, but so it's got real possibilities of coming around again 2 years from now. So if you really like the idea of that, you better get in contact with your senators and representatives and let them know, because that would effectively freeze your value. You know, if we could get that, it would at least stop the increase that happens every year.
Yeah.
Even though it's capped at 5%, it's like, well, it's like, and everybody's going to disagree about what things have appreciated in value, but how they come to that conclusion and what their metrics are,
Well,
That's exactly what
heck if I know.
I want a number for.
This is-
I'd like to
answer
know.
for.
I'd
this is a statewide deal. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And it's
So-
not all doom and gloom. The research showed that it doesn't help. It doesn't help the hurt, but Baxter County statistically is actually doing a little better, statistically speaking, than the statewide average. Like there was, and the homestead credit was increased to 600. I think it was 500 before.
Yeah.
But that relief doesn't land evenly. Like a homestead credit of $600 is meaningful to a modest or rural home.
Absolutely.
But if you've got 5% relief on a $450,000 house, is not that big, right?
Well, and then I sit there and you say this, but then I go back to my old groceries here are tremendously higher, not just a little bit, tremendously. You could go to Fayetteville and get a gallon of milk for $3.26. Here it's $4.58 a
Right.
gallon. So if you and gas, if you factor in, if you ever seen just how expensive our stuff is here compared to other places, what is that measly $100?
Yeah.
That credit when you do that in 2 months in gas.
Well, we can
You know?
always say we're not we're at least as far as property taxes, we're not as bad off as Sebastian
agree.
County.
I agree.
The biggest dollar increase statewide, $2.7 billion. It's 90% of the 57,000 parcel owners got a value change notice in Sebastian County. Johnson County, plus 55.46 across their 17,000 parcels. Washington County, 54% increase after its 2003 reappraisal, blamed on remote workers relocating to from higher cost of living states, investor buying and short-term rentals, Airbnb, Verbo, reducing housing supply.
Well, Washington County is rich. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
well,
rich.
but it's the number is higher. I guess the percentage is kind of the same, but
Yeah. So
But-
where we rank in state, we're number 60 out of 75 counties.
it kind of takes you the incentive away from people who want to move up. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
and also
it's not-
what's interesting is the school district data. So the Baxter County average is 34.46 school mills.
Yeah.
That's 4.93 city, 8.5 county, 45 and almost 46 overall. But it's different depending on where you live. Mountain Home proper in city is 32.16. Overall, with the county and the city, it's 42.66. So it's actually, believe it or not, Mountain Home inside the city limits of Mountain Home, it's lower than anywhere else in the county. 40, just barely. The highest is in Norfolk.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the data right here, it's Norfolk in city is 52.79, and those are mills. So there's a really complicated mathematical formula. One mill is basically $1 of tax per
Yes.
$1,000 of assessed value. So
Wait till the school comes.
yeah, and of course I hear that they're going to. It's my understanding they're going to try to get the millage increase passed again in 2027. Or something like that, 28.
You
something like that.
guarantee you they're going to do it. And you know, the first time, I was telling him this earlier. I have a home in the city, and when the city gets to vote, like they did on the aquatic center, even though I have a home in the city and I'm the one that's got to pay the property taxes, I can't vote on nothing. Because I live in the county. They take my tax dollars and they're basically telling you you don't have a say so. Because you own a home in the city doesn't make a flip, even though you're paying the bill because you live in the county, you have no say so. That's kind of not a fair deal either.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've thought the same thing. As a business owner who I live out in the county, but we do business in Mountain Home. That sales tax is higher in Mountain Home than it was, where I used to live in
we're
Conway.
like 9.5%.
9.875.
Yeah.
Almost 10.
Yeah, and I think Fayetteville's 11, a little over 11, and that is just like, well, you know what Fayetteville is? It's Walton territory. That's full of money, and Mountain Home has got it, but man, we've also got some people that are living on not welfare, but on disability
Fixed
and
income.
fixed. Well, there's
Hello.
3 people right next to me that are, in this park over here that are all living under $1,000 a month. They don't pay the property taxes because they don't own it, but they're paying the personal property taxes on what they're staying in.
Yeah.
Add that up. I mean, every time that they're digging in your pocket, it's taking food out of your mouth.
Well, I guess a good way to look at it is, let's compare the rate that property taxes are going up against the rate of the median income in this county.
Yeah.
And I wonder, that's something I did not think to do the research on.
Oh, I could guarantee it's way past it because their income here is nothing.
Yeah.
You bring up Washington County as a perfect example. Well, you can guarantee everybody over there is making $30 or $40 an hour. It's just you can go there. I go there a lot, so I know. Here, I think the $16 an hour is generally what you're going to make here. I know. It's just it's it's just sad because by the time they tax that $16 an hour, now you're down to like $11. It's just anywhere they can try to steal your money, and that's what I call it because I feel that's what it is. Don't get me wrong. I know we have to pay taxes to have roads. I get all that, and I don't have a problem paying my fair share. But because I own multiple properties, I don't get the luxury of just paying it one time. I got to pay it 10 times. The volunteer fire departments, they get a cut out of your taxes every time you pay them at the end of the year. At the end of the year, property taxes. So I pay that 10 times. So,
Well, yeah,
you know.
and I keep coming back to, really they kind of snuck this in. Nobody really saw it coming, I don't think, and they end up with more revenue. Yeah, but
Where does it go?
Well, they're spending it on things that we don't want.
I just would like.
Flock cameras.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, they don't need more money. They need to stop that stuff, and then they'll have more.
And that's exactly I think everybody's question, probably watching, is where does this money go? Well, like I just told you earlier, we didn't need another police station. The police station we had was just fine. Everybody knew where it was. But they do that. I don't ever remember having a say-so on them moving the police station, and that's taking our tax dollars. I mean, and like I said, I back the men in blue 100%.
Well, the flock cameras are, though, and for those of you that may not be familiar with the term, if you've been seeing these little black poles with a little solar panel on top of it and a camera on the side of the road in random places and in parking lots, this is our government spying on us.
Yes, sir.
This is the local. It's my understanding so far that it's actually they're actually the Mountain Home Police Department. This hasn't gone countywide yet, I don't believe.
I believe I've seen some out in the county.
Well, I can tell you there was a bust today in Tennessee using a flock camera, and they busted. It was a pretty good-sized drug bust. Yeah. So they are using them for things that they say they're not. They totally are. They read a warrant on the plate.
There is no doubt. There is no doubt that they are effective in finding some criminals. But what's different about these cameras and like the regular traffic cameras and things, these are actually when you drive by them, they are actually taking a picture of your license plate, and that it does character recognition. And there's an AI that kind of figures out, okay, gray SUV, license plate number this. And it ties you to a timestamp, and that goes into a database, and they can farm that data.
Yes, they can.
It'll even recognize a dent.
Yes.
Like I said, they read a warrant.
Damage on front left fender.
Yeah, what's going on
here? If you
want
to know where one of them are at, just go out 201 South on the bridge by the cement factory. You'll see it nice and pretty sitting up there.
And you can congratulate them all you want about making that arrest you were talking about, but there's...
I don't congratulate them.
No,
I'm totally
I don't either.
against
no,
them.
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the public that may congratulate them.
If they used them for
but you're giving up your privacy, and I don't want to do that.
They'll always throw the kids in. If the kids get kidnapped, if there's always, if they want something passed, they'll always put children in there. That's generally what they do.
And
it's always something to do with the kids. Oh, if they get kidnapped, what if you're a kid? Well, then everybody turns a blind eye on what really goes.
And they sell it on a bunch of bogus happy talk. And, they never talk. Nobody thinks far enough ahead to understand what's going to happen.
They don't talk about the potential for abuse.
Yes.
It's great in theory, but giving the government that kind of tool. It's like Batman. The Batman movie from a few years ago, he invented the technology that, and some of you will be familiar with this, that basically could see and hear everything. Very dangerous tool. That's kind of what we've handed over to the government here, and this is going nationwide. The thing is this is run by a private corporation. The city of Mountain Home does not own those cameras. They are leased. For about $3,000 a year per camera is what I understand it costs to be.
And it's on our tax dollars again. Yeah. Our property tax is paying for these nice flock cameras that I totally don't think that we need.
You can't do a FOIA on them.
Right.
Where's my data going? I want to know where, they're selling it.
It's a very, very dangerous tool. Yeah. It may be effective absolutely effective for solving some certain crimes or finding people.
Did we even get the vote on that? For some reason, I want to say that
I don't think we voted on
that we were supposed to, and they kind of did a sneak behind.
My recollection is that the Mountain Home City Council passed some funding for the flock cameras a few years ago. That might have been a different deal. I haven't been paying enough attention more recently.
Was a approved for the law enforcement, and law enforcement made the decision. That's the way I understand.
So we never got a vote on whether or not we
Not
wanted to be spied
specifically.
on.
Right. That's right.
You couldn't have said that any better.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very.
So sorry to take that segue over there into the flock cameras, but there's one other thing about taxes that I kind of wanted to get into, because this was another surprise to me that I did not know that the research turned up today, it was one of these questions that came up, your personal property tax, like when you buy a vehicle, Arkansas is so backwards. Most other states, when you buy a vehicle, you pay sales tax right then and there at the dealer before you even drive it off. They collect it just like you would buying any other thing. Arkansas is one of these weird states where you actually pay the sales tax when you go and get your tags. Most of you are familiar with that. What the question is like, if the dealer gives me any discounts when I buy a new vehicle, why am I taxed at the full purchase or the MSRP instead of the discounted rate? And what I found out is that that's not actually true completely. This is just a weird Arkansas thing. If your discount includes any manufacturer rebates to the dealer, those are added in. So if you buy that $50,000 truck from the Ford place, and you get $5,000 in manufacturer supplied rebates to the dealer, and they just shave that $5,000 off the top of the purchase price. As far as the state of Arkansas is concerned, you're taxed at the full $50,000.
That's kind of weird when you go to Walmart. If they give you a discount on something, you're not paying tax on it. But you see how the state revenue office tries to rob you. I could go on for hours about how that with the revenue department. I won't even get into that. I've had a dealings here. I sold a camper trailer to a friend of mine for $10,000. I bought another one. I had the bill of sale and everything ready to lock and load. 3 years later, I get a bill. This was 6 months ago. I get a bill from the revenue department because I did not register the camper that I had. I couldn't take the credit on the new one I had. There was no argument. She said, well, you didn't own it. I said, well, I owned it just because I have the title. I said, I got the guy standing here that actually bought it. And at the time, that was exactly right. He got on the phone and said, yeah, I purchased it from him. No, doesn't matter. You got to register that thing before you can get a credit off of it. So I ended up having to send him $673 3 years after I
And I guess the other thing that I didn't know, the valuation method is, we talked about, how the assessors evaluate the value of your real property and how it's kind of a black box. We don't know. Your real property, like your vehicles, they are the valuation method. The accounting assessor uses a standard valuation guide. Typically, the NADA, this is the National Automobile Dealers Association, to estimate the current market value, factoring in year, make, model, and condition. And this is not necessarily what you paid. So that's why if you might have bought a car in crummy condition for $200 and they're saying it's worth $5,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They go off of the National Automobile Dealers Association, which I have no idea who comprises that group. I don't know if it's public, private, combination of both.
Well, I think they more so on the bill of sale of your bill of sale is where you get the taxes. So if let's say you bought a $20,000 car and you bought it off of a good friend for $3,800.
Right.
They're not going to charge you
That's
taxes
the sales
on it.
tax. Then I'm talking about the yearly personal property tax that you
I
pay.
understand what you're okay.
See
The
what I
personal
mean?
property. Oh, you're going to pay the $20,000. What you just, but it would be nice if they had the same thing for a home, because like you can take a home that was remodeled and totally beautiful next to your home, and you ain't done nothing to your home for 15 years. And if that guy sold his property for $250,000, guess what they're going to say your property's worth? $250,000, even though you ain't touched your property. Not a very fair handshake, in my opinion, at all.
Yeah, it does seem it would be nice if they had a standard so that is more predictable, or if you didn't, it would be nice to see into that black box and go, okay, how do you come up? How do you come to this
How
number?
did you come up with
Where are the
$175 for me putting a metal roof on my house?
Trust me, bro.
How did
Trust
they
me,
come
bro.
up with
That's
that? $175 putting a roof on a metal roof versus shingles.
Did you say something to the effect that you can dispute this process?
You can.
Dispute process.
You can.
But you have
There
to do
is
it by
dispute.
August?
Yes, he is correct on that. But the chances of you getting anything done,
That's
I
only
tried
like-
it twice and I got blowed off twice. They
Only
never
like
got
2
a
weeks,
hold of me.
isn't it?
Well, I think
Or a
it
month?
said you had to be scheduled. It said something about 10 days. I'm trying to find it here, but you have until August 1st to file with the Equal Housing Commission.
That's not
something.
a lot of time.
Can't find it. But yeah, well, if
Before August 17th.
if half the county showed up and
Well, that's
disputed
where
it,
my head was going. That's where my
That's the whole thing. That's what that's why I'm on here doing this podcast for, because I wish some people would reach out to me that are having the same things happen to me, and let's get something going. Let's figure out where our money's going. Let's see what we can do to put a stop to it or even slow it down a little bit, because I'm going to tell you, by the year 2030, they're going to own our house because we're going to be so backed up in taxes.
I'm on a fixed income by then. I'm not going to be able to afford to be alive
Well,
at this rate.
you know, the thing
Do
is,
you have a number you want to give out? Seriously, I mean,
they could get a hold of me on Facebook.
Joe Jones.
Yeah, you. Chances are probably a lot of people seeing this is going to know who I am. But I can promise you, you can get a hold of me real easy. Just look me up on Facebook, and if you find this ugly face on there, you'll know to contact me, and I'll guarantee I'll get back with you. There's no question about it, because I feel like we're getting railroaded, and it's just not fair. I want to put a stop to it. I just don't think it's fair. And like I said, I tried to do something about this, the $175 roof. Now, here's something that's really funny that either one of you probably didn't even think of. Let's say you got your house, like we're going to use the one that I told you, 193,000 whatever percentage, and they appraised it. And I had a nice big shed and a swimming pool and a big back deck on the back when they appraised it, because this happened to me. I literally called them up and said, I haven't had a deck on my house. Did you ever give me a tax break on that? Oh, you didn't call us and tell us. True story. If they're watching, they'll know.
I didn't call and tell you to come and reassess either.
So if you put a shed on your property, they're going to tax you. But if you tear down 10 of them, they're not going to say a word to you. They're just going to keep on mowing your wallet away just like a money machine. And that's a fact. That it's your job to call them when you remove something. But I don't know how in the world, it's like you can put a mousetrap on your property and they know it and they're going to tax it. And that's a fact.
Probably a flock camera or something similar.
Yeah.
I think they're flying drones. I could be wrong, but I think they got drones going to not spying on us to see what you've got.
no, they actually do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
Well, they
that.
do that, and also
I got a privacy fence around one of them. I'm like, how do you know what's back there? They
I'm
figure
way
it
out
out.
in the county, and a guy was out there driving around checking, and I questioned him. So
For what
they
it's
probably
worth,
do all the above.
to the assessor's office, if you get bombarded with calls, I'm sorry.
Well, to them, I hope you do get bombarded. You will quit robbing people.
Sorry, Jamie.
That's my fault. I'm not picking on anybody individually. I'm just a madman that's tired of getting railroaded. That's, and there's things that I've done that I admit where I was wrong. The Aquatic Center, I voted totally against that. And you ask me if I would vote for it now, I'd totally say I did wrong. I would totally vote for that right now because I see what good it's done for people, and then people enjoy it. There's one of them right there.
The way they did it, I'm against.
So
The camera?
I'm totally will admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong on that. I don't like the fact that they went way over budget without saying anything to anybody.
And
But-
they did it with a special election. But
Yeah,
that's not
there
why
was
we're-
some sneaking, but knock out all that stuff there. I was totally, I would vote for it, even if they would have threw the squash that they didn't tell us about
that's for a different episode.
after the fact. But I admit when I'm wrong, and I would vote for it again. So I'm not a hypocrite. You know, I'm totally, I defend what I believe is right, and I believe, you know, when you're getting taxed like crazy, man, I feel it. You know,
Well,
if
it's
you
just-
owned one house, maybe I wouldn't say a word. I wouldn't be on here if I owned a house and I'd pay a couple $100. But they really get me. They really, if you knew what I paid in taxes a year, when I got to go give them my check and they got that cop sitting there at the end of the office because they know there's going to be trouble, they probably put him in there because of me. I can't stand it. And I wait till the very last day to pay them so they cannot make any more money on me than they have to. And I wouldn't be like that if I felt like I wasn't getting robbed. I would pay it early.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
know.
appreciate you being here and sharing.
Yeah.
They do overdo it. I agree with you. So, but anyway, we've come to the end of our allotted time. So I just want to thank Shane and Joe for joining us.
appreciate it. It was good to
And,
meet you.
and
Shane, good to meet
Joe.
you.
we'll have
get
you
it-
back potentially.
We'll come back and we'll complain some more. Maybe
Right on.
something will
Yeah.
be done.
That's
Thank you all.
I'm kind of in your camp, but hang on a second. A couple announcements before we go. Quorum Court, first Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Baxter County. That's first Tuesday each month. Baxter County Courthouse. City Council is the first and third Thursday each month, 5 p.m. at City Hall. Republican Men's Club meets the first Thursday, 11:30 a.m. at the Elks. City Planning Committee meets second Monday each month, 1 p.m. City Hall. County Planning Committee, second Tuesday, 11 a.m. Baxter County Courthouse. A&P Advertising and Promotion, third Thursday, 3 p.m. City Hall. School Board, third Thursday, 6 p.m. Admin Building on Rodeo Drive. The Airport Advisory Committee, we don't really have they don't have a set schedule, but they meet a couple times every other month, I think.
That's right.
I don't have exact, but and then one of the important ones is Baxter County Republican Committee is last Tuesday each month, 6 p.m. at the VFW
In Mountain Home.
in Mountain Home. So you can get a lot more information there on any of these matters we discuss.
And the Baxter County Republican Committee is one of our sponsors.
Yes,
Don't die without good insurance. Go talk to James Boyette, 870-425-4540. Get that insurance.
and we also have.
Hey, does that insurance cover murder people?
Oh, we
Somehow
don't-
I
Get
doubt
murdered
it.
after this one. Here,
we-
did you want that back?
Sure.
and what is it? Mountain Home Heat and
Mountain
Air.
Home Heat and Air.
I misplaced it. Okay, Mountain Home Heat and Air.
There
They're
you
the
go.
best in the Twin Lakes, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. 870-425-HVAC.
That's right.
425-4822, and you're going to need it this time of year, maybe,
Yep.
because man, it's hot. So one other public service announcement: temps going up to 100. Do whatever you're supposed to do when it's that hot out.
Yes. Stay cool,
inside.
folks.
If I got to tell you exactly what to do, then I'm probably not going to be able to help you.
Talking about taxes, man. It says I had an old country history professor when I was in high school. One of his favorite little sayings was, "If you dance, you got to pay that fiddler."
All right. On that note,